Hello and welcome to Jurassic Park The Game, Episode 4 commentary. My name is Nick Herman, and I was the director of this episode.
I'm Shaun Ainsworth. I was a cinematic artist.
I am Bryan Roth, assistant producer.
Hi, JD Straw. I'm the writer-designer.
And I'm Lazar Levine. I was a sound designer.
So here we are at the beginning. This is actually the first Telltale episode that I got to write all by myself from start to finish. They trusted me with this. There I am. But we opened up this episode with a really cool, really dramatic argument between Dr. Sorkin and Yoder. And, I wanted to do some stuff here with dialogue puzzles. I don't know how much you would call it a puzzle, but just some really great play the dialogue moments. And we do that in this first scene, and we're going to do it again later in the game with a really great scene that I'm really fond of.
All because of your dinosaurs, all because of you.
I just saw Keenan's name on the credits there a minute ago. I wanted to give him a shout out. Did a lot of good work on this episode.
Yeah, I think this is his first time being a lead. And or no, that's not true. He was on.
He worked on Back to the Future
too.
But yeah. He did a lot of last minute programming on this. Did some great work.
So we're picking up right where episode 3 left off. And whose decision was it to do that sort of intro through the hallway?
Yeah, that was actually Myas and I were talking about that. He did the opening cutscene, and we knew that we wanted to hear the voices through the door and kind of be on the other side of it. And I think Myas came up with that the first shot down the hallway, and it just worked really well. And he did a thing where he cut time on the push in, and just people responded well to it, so we kept it in.
One of the nice things that releasing this game all at once instead of episodic gave us was the ability to go back and actually edit environments, because originally this didn't have any other way out of this room. They were going to have to go back out through the velociraptors, and I was like, there's just no way. It's just they worked so hard to get in there. They got to work harder to get out now, and so we actually were able to change this environment and add another egress, which I can't really see it yet, but we'll get to exploring to it.
Let me hear it. No, it wasn't. Say it!
Uncomfortable silence.
I kind of like this part, how you as the player sort of get to choose which of these two sides you kind of identify with. Are you more like Yoder, just lost a friend, lost Oscar, lost their best chance of getting off the island safely, or this slightly crazy biogeneticist who is less aggressive, but they both have different viewpoints and different ways to solve things. And I kind of like seeing that dichotomy play out between characters.
Yeah, it's kind of who is the real bad guy. I mean, obviously he's put a knife up to her throat, but
that was one of my favorite things about this episode, was getting to write sort of Yoder's descent, and constantly thinking about what's going through his head. And the concept for him as a character was that he would make a lot of bad tactical decisions in terms of trying to build relationships and allies and such.
It looks like it's heading in the right direction.
And also, playing through earlier episodes, it's almost like he's the last guy you would ever suspect to be sort of the one to fall.
Yeah, he's such a jokester through the earlier episodes, and then he turns pretty dead serious here.
He really loved Oscar.
He did. There's a bromance.
Kept them together, kept them sane.
Yeah, if you're ready, Billy.
Either that or he was carrying his meds.
Well, yeah, Billy's arc throughout this episode was really important.
Dun dun dun. It's like we got music to do that for me, but
Billy, did you find something?
Nothing.
so that was originally. I think it kind of is still like a thermite grenade. So the concept of that is that Decaf has this on his person because if he was ever going somewhere deep with the helicopter and they had to ditch it behind, he would use that to destroy the helicopter rather than letting it get into, I don't know. They're not really wartime soldiers, so they aren't trying to destroy it to keep it out of like the Somalians' hands or anything, but just should it have sensitive material, he can melt it to the ground.
Right, or destroy the evidence of who sent them there.
Yeah.
Where his body is. We're not equipped to transport it. Hopefully, we can retrieve his remains when this is all over. All right, listen up. Everything
So we're
that
about to
just
get into some
happened,
fun stuff
5
here.
guys, understand?
Oh, and this is a good time to talk to Lazar
Tell me again about
about some of the sounds for the dinosaurs, because you evolved the Troodon sounds.
Oh yeah, that took a while. Yeah, you guys had a real specific vision of what we wanted this Troodon to sound like. I worked a lot with
Unicorns, that's...
yeah, exactly, just like a unicorn. I worked with Joe Penny like a bunch, just revision after revision after revision, and he was definitely, he had this really kind of scary, spooky sound that he was trying to get, and it was a lot of fun working with him, and ended up using a combination of me doing some throat clicks, which is just kind of starting right here, and then a lot of blending that with pumas and a few different animals.
How do you handle their sounds, like sort of indoors versus outdoors, where we've seen and experienced them in earlier episodes?
What do you mean?
Well, is there a difference in the sound, their call?
When they're indoors and outdoors?
Right.
Well, they've got lots of different calls. They all have that kind of click going in the back. But we've got like attacks, we've got kind of like breathing, we've got kind of idles and more infuriating ones. Yeah, I think we had about 20 or 30 different variations of Troodon sounds, and probably about half of those we made for episode 4, maybe more than half of those, because there was just an insane amount of Troodons. We went from in episode 1 just a few here and there, kind of hinting at it, to 4 just like they're attacking.
Right.
So it was a lot of Troodons in this episode.
They have such a great, unique sound that we haven't heard before. I mean, in any of the Jurassic Park films or anything.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun. It was definitely one of my favorite parts of this game was working on that Troodon.
I love the fan speculation on the forums, just sort of about what the Troodons were.
Oh, yeah.
It was great to read that.
I remember that.
Yeah, it'll be good to see how accurate they were. Because I've been biting my tongue in the forums so much because I read like everything they say about the Troodons. I'm like, oh, you don't know. Oh, you kind of know, but I can't say. So it'll be good to hear some talk back. PM me on the forums, Sinaz20. Any comments you want.
I love this camera.
Yeah, that's a good camera.
Yeah, this is all Varm seeing. An awesome job.
Shout out to Jack Fusting who came in at the last minute and within 2 weeks helped me get this episode in the can.
Yeah,
you guys were really crunched there.
Yeah, we did. The longest shift was a 36-hour shift.
What?
Trying to get this in.
Hey, I know you were hurting there for a while.
Yeah, it was a little bit crazy.
I didn't realize both of you were hurting.
Oh no, yeah, we had each other for support. It was good times.
Anyways, Telltale's hiring. You should apply on the website, telltalegames/jobs.
Recruiting now. It's amazing how often I had to go back and tweak the sort of the fiction around flares of all things.
Yeah.
I guess just, it's not every day you strike a road flare and understand how they work. And I had to do a lot of research, and, we were trying to figure out, do we want to do road flares? Do we want to do, like, the gun flares or, whatever? But you saw that, I think, did Nima just grab a flare?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was, I wanted to have, as with other episodes, have some actions that would carry over to later moments in the game. They are so freaking weird.
Yeah, so there are three flares you can pick up.
There are 3 flares that you can pick up.
One in the.
Hopefully, you guys have played this before you watch.
Yeah, but yeah, if you didn't notice that, if you don't pick up the flares in this scene, then you don't have them to use as kind of like a little helper in the next scene when you're looking for clues in the dark environments.
It's a big helper.
Yeah, it's a huge help.
Some of Mike Peretta's good effects works there. We're going to see a whole bunch of awesome Peretta effects later in this episode.
Troodons can't open doors.
Or grates. So now they're running back down through the tunnels, and And I'd like to say that we have a master plan of how these tunnels run all over the... well, actually we do, because you'll see the blueprint for it.
Yeah.
We laid them out. But how accurate. We use a lot of movie tricks. I remember design for these tunnels, we talked about, sort of how corridors are done in actual movies, where you just sort of change the angle and the lighting and reuse stuff over again. And there's a good amount of tiles, but this always looks like a new place to me. Bogan accomplished a lot of that with
the lighting.
Yeah. It's amazing what you can get away with just using the same thing over and over.
But we also wanted them to make sense, I mean, I remember quite a few discussions where it was like, wait, if they're running that way, that means in the next scene they can't be running this way.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
I remember the
Or just-
discussions on that to make sure it felt like
tunnel
they were
needs
running.
to connect to this thing.
Especially once you get to the blueprints and you know what direction's north. And
Yeah.
It's like, well, wait, on the official Jurassic Park map, the desalination plan is this way, and then we're running this way, so we got to turn the whole environment around. And I remember at one point we actually had to flip animations like 180 because they were running the opposite direction. And
Yeah, just cinematically it felt that way. I remember the changes that we made there. I also wanted to say when they were running through the tunnels, we did a little call out to Jurassic Park the movie, where they're following conduit lines in the ceiling, and of course referring to blueprints to get around in the tunnels.
I think that Jurassic Park signage you see, around here and other places is pretty key too, because Episode 3 is really heavy in the tunnels.
Yeah, it's all
So we
underground.
we want the game to always feel like Jurassic Park, even if you're not out in the jungle above ground.
I hope people dig this puzzle, because this is like probably my favorite puzzle in the season. It's just so different, and I don't know. I just it's my kind of thing.
No,
So.
these are the best kind of adventure game puzzles. These are the kind of puzzles where you grab a buddy, and it's like,
Yeah,
hey,
you get to sit down.
let's work through this together.
Yeah. It's a little bit more puzzle agent-y than our normal adventure game stuff, but I don't know. I think doing that once
the
in a
answer.
while is cool.
That's right. You've played through it.
Yeah.
We must be here. It's the only one that completely matches our surroundings.
And I'm such a stickler for detail. I tend to overwrite the dialogue, and I'm thinking about the directions they have to go to get to the marine facility here. This was exciting for me. This is where we were finally going to reveal the Troodon. Like, we got, I think, more glimpses of them earlier in the game than I intended.
Yeah.
And this is where I just really wanted people to just go, oh my god, that's what they look like.
What is it?
Oh, I love the sound here. Sorry.
Yeah, we got some really cool stingers in here for this. This is like one of my favorite scenes here.
Yeah. This episode, this whole game, you have to imagine that we're playing this game.
Yes.
Ooh, I was wondering if we could see a death.
Yeah, we're playing this game over and over again daily, and I played this scene so many times and I never got tired of it.
It was funny when we were making this without the lighting. You would hit the Troodon with the whack-a-mole sort of stick there,
And then
they would just disappear. It was like you were playing a 1991 Final Fantasy game.
So many people worked on this scene too. I think you were on this scene for a while, Shaun, and
I think
we
Nick
had
Mastroianni was too.
Mastroianni and Graham, I think. Also Jason. We had like half the chore team working on this.
Yeah.
Cinematic artist team, excuse me.
Yeah, it's the first time I've seen it with the lighting in it. Looks really good.
Oh no!
I remember there being like some sort of number of Troodons debacle too.
Oh
Wasn't
yeah,
there
yeah.
anything where we
How many would you think were in that scene? Not just 4.
Yeah. Sort of like aliens.
So this is my other big baby scene here, where this is the other big play the dialogue moment, and this was the one that I was just really worried would just fall apart and not make it into the game. And like every day I was on edge thinking someone was going to come and go, it's not fun to just talk. you know. And I'm thinking, but it is fun if you're interested in what you're going to hear and you want to you know take them over as a role, like you want to be Jerry or you want to be Nima. And or you just want to get in their head. And I was so pleased with this. Like the first time that I played through it in its entirety, like I was just so overcome with joy that I went around and I shook everybody's hand who worked on it. I literally did.
Yeah, admittedly, I was definitely one of the producers that wanted to do away with this scene at first. I felt like, you know, we weren't getting much mileage out of this environment just for the 5 minutes or so that we were here. Although we knew it was a big character moment. But man, once this environment came in and that lighting was final and those flats were painted on there, and
the acting was done.
Yeah, I mean, it just really came together.
Lazar's brachiosaurs in the background.
Jack did that ambience.
Oh, did good job, Jack.
Yeah, Jack did that ambience.
Nice. So when we were in the recording studio, we record everybody separately, and Nima Cruz, she's done by Nika Futterman,
What does it have to do?
and I'm not sure how far we're going to get into her conversation or her monologue, but this whole thing was designed just as a monologue that she could just talk, and then we also gave the player the option just skip out if this isn't their cup of tea. I understand, but if you start delving in and really sort of pushing for her backstory, she gets really personal. And in the recording studio, she gave this one read about her daughter, and we used the take, and after we cut, the room got really misty. It was a really, really powerful moment for everybody. And Nika actually did a lot of nice studio rewrites on this speech, because she is a mother, and I'm not a mother. So I did not have all the experience I would have liked going into writing this, but
This isn't the way things should have been done.
I'm very proud of this moment.
You're a good person. I see that.
Also, this was it was important, at least to me, to get this kind of a scene in here, because
Enough talk.
I mean, I don't think since episode 1 we had really had a break or like a moment where people can.
Feel rested.
It was like,
where
it's
they could
that
stop running.
eating ice cream moment where everyone's kind of just taking a break from all the craziness, and
It's good. It's an important turning point for the characters too, because up till now Nima's kind of been allied with Yoder, and we really needed her to attach to Jerry here. Point of trivia: the whooping swan was the animal call used for the Dilophosaurus sounds in the movies.
Nice. So, in case people didn't get this is the Jeep that the T-Rex chased away at the end of episode 1. So we thought it'd be funny to have him make a reappearance.
He's the little tour guide that could.
Yeah.
Next stop, the Jurassic Park Marine Facility.
Oh, they survived. This is something I was really conscious of too, being able to cut between different moments in the story. It takes a lot of forethought, because we have to take a little bit of control from the player and leave them hanging with their progress. We did the same thing in episode 1 with Nima versus the Jeep.
Like feeder tanks.
Yeah.
This could be a hatchery.
A hatcher what?
They're raising these fish to feed another animal, like at Marine World.
Like the killer whale?
I had a lot of alts from Marine World there. Always have to watch out for like trademarks.
Yeah.
How many whales are they feeding?
I don't know. It looks like each of these tanks could
Are there
feed
actually
3 or
fish in that
4
tank?
orcas per day.
I think there were supposed to be.
I think
for
we ended up
fish.
taking him out.
Well, we definitely put fish into the lagoon.
Well, no, there are fish in there. You just can't see them. They're just below the surface.
Okay.
It's like,
Yeah.
that's how it works. There's tons of fish.
Turn down your Xbox settings.
Hundreds of fish in those tanks.
All clear.
Oh, fake out. That's right.
Dad!
Jess. Oh, thank God.
So we're getting into the other
No.
big
okay.
puzzle in this episode. Well, we got some other puzzly moments, but this is,
You two are safe, Jerry.
like a
How did you manage
very
to get
discreet
here?
puzzle here. And
Tunnels through a service hatch near
one of the things that I was playing around with
Luckily,
was
someone left the tour program.
using the player's brain as an inventory system, because we aren't doing inventories, but I wanted the players to have to go and examine the environment and find clues, find information that they have to use elsewhere in the environment.
Unless... Of course.
Yeah, this puzzle probably got the most revisions out of anything in the game.
The phones.
Just,
If the power
just
outage
making sure people could understand what's going on, and we
it's probably just waiting to be booted
probably
up.
play tested this the most out of anything. I mean, it's a pretty important bit.
Yeah, none of this stuff is ever designed perfect from conception.
No.
It takes a lot of revision and playing.
To get another helicopter out here for you all. The next flight over the island is going to be a wing of B-52s carrying holy hellfire.
I love Yoder's speech here.
What?
That's right, Doc.
Yoder's Jason Marsden. I know Dennis is a big fan of.
He's the voice of Max from A Goofy Movie. If you guys were alive.
What do you mean you're home? I didn't tell you earlier because I thought we'd be off the...
I know that Nima brought this up with Yoder before in earlier episodes, but I figured that Yoder probably just hasn't been paying attention or taking anything she's saying serious, except for embryos worth money.
Wait, what are you?
Where is she going?
I don't know. It's Rotunda. It's where the control room is.
It's the actual physical layout of our geometry for this environment there.
Oh, good.
It's a real place.
Insert operator's key into key slot. Okay.
Oh, and if you could somehow find somebody who has a PC version and just get a nice freeze frame of that manual and read the text.
And hold for 3 seconds.
There's good stuff in there.
It's actually got operating instructions for the elevator and
nice.
the pressurization systems.
Previous code, then
It's
new
fun.
code.
It's based on a real elevator. I don't know. I just stickler for details.
Huh. Very clever. Looks like they're using numbers from the dates of the Paleozoic era as daily key.
There's a little Jurassic Park.
Okay. So
Yeah, little
magnets.
refrigerator magnets.
seated the
That
oldest
should go on
pyramid
our
at the
store.
display. Maybe this
I think the fiction there was that they just sort of raided the
Supply closet or whatever.
no the gift shop.
Oh, the merch. Yeah.
Carboniferous Permian.
That little rock there in the middle went through so many changes.
Yeah.
But I'm glad with the design we settled on.
Yeah. Yeah, and the idea here with this whiteboard and everything is this place isn't up and running yet. So this is kind of like, this is the work. The construction crew was still around. And the guys operating the underwater facility were still trying to get everything working. So
Yeah, a lot of stuff we didn't want to put in.
also that
dialogue
little
and
sticky
board.
note: code not working. See manual at info desk.
Yeah,
My initials.
yeah. I did some call outs there. I think I actually put my dad's name in the other post-it note.
Oh. It's not on camera.
It's on a PC version, high res.
Yeah. Blow out the texture.
This is a great character moment for Yoder and Nima.
Crazy. Someone will see. Relax. See what?
And Jess too, I think.
Yeah, and Jess too, because she's kind of got like this hero complex going on,
Some kind of spy.
and I don't think she's really
Top secret
she's really taking things serious yet.
I'll have to kill you.
You won't
Dang,
lay a
Yoder.
finger on her.
Who's just kidding around?
Everyone, I got the elevator working.
Jerry, he's goofy sometimes.
What's going on here?
We're all cool.
So part of the concept for this area was that it wasn't really supposed to be like an aquarium, where you would go and see fish. The idea was all the exhibits in this building are all supposed to be living fossils. So, horseshoe crabs and, sea anemones and things like that. So you still wanted to have that sort of discover the ancient world feel to this place.
I like that last moment where Jess is looking at the can as Billy kind of tucks it away. It's like as the player, you know what she's going to do.
That's a really nice moment for the cinematic artist when they can convey character moments like that.
So I think this is Shaun Ainsworth's
My ears.
cutscene.
It's one of mine.
One of your many.
One of the many I did in this episode. The ridiculous number of things I touched. Yeah, this was kind of a pain to shoot because, an elevator is generally boring to look at from the inside.
Let your attendant know immediately.
The warning here. I just,
Breathing pressurized air.
we wanted to have this really cool environment, but as I'm writing it, I'm thinking, God, this place is so absurd. But just try to play it as straight as I can, and hopefully the characters are selling that this place really could be real.
This is the first time we've ever done anything underwater in a Telltale game. Normally because we just didn't know how to build it, and I mean, we'd like to thank Bogan and Michael Preda for making this work.
I thought it was because you like to scare producers.
That? Yeah. Well, that's really... Yeah. Once you join the team, Brian, we had to give you a good initiation.
Yeah, when our director informed us that we were going to be exploding things underwater,
Yeah.
we were slightly scared.
Well, I think they said we don't want to do surfaces so much, so we're like, okay, we'll go underwater and flood things.
Yeah.
Oh. But it was a great kind of success story because for the amount of things that we sort of told the effects team and the choreography team that they couldn't do, they actually pulled it all off. They showed us all.
Basically, we just ignored them, and it ended up working out, which is not normally the best strategy.
This is a scene where my overwriting just went way out of control, and Nick and who else helped to rein this in?
I don't remember.
Was it Jolie?
I think it was Graham.
Graham?
Helped out, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I had actually written both sides of the phone conversation going on there. She's talking to the embassy. She's talking to InGen. We did some call-outs. I think in the beginning you can hear she calls out to Peter Ludlow, which is the guy that takes over InGen in The Lost World. And we named a couple other board of directors from online resources that I could find.
What have you been doing?
And if you remember from episode 2, she used to be a bit of a activist, rabble-rouser, so...
Hippie type.
Yeah, that's right.
I have taken the remaining survivors hostage. There are 4 others, 3 Americans and 1 Costa Rican. I won't let them go.
I like this moment because Yoda's actually not in the game, but he was right about her.
Yeah. I told you so. That's. I dare to call it a movie trope, but just to have the foreshadowing where you have a character who lays out, what the second act is going to be for you, and in such a way that gives you a sense of what you're walking into, but at the same time it sets up the attitudes of the other characters, because who will remain in disbelief.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to believe him. You're crazy, dude. You got a knife to her throat. Just
right.
Chill out. But he's speaking truth.
I know, Jerry.
But it also gives the audience an opportunity to pick sides. Can you say, yeah, I know. I'm with you, Yoda. I get it. She's trouble.
If anyone didn't notice already, the little red scrolling LEDs from the movie, I've made it into this environment. Was the server?
Yeah, the server. Nice detail there. Even the door, I think, pulls some motifs over from the control room. This is supposed to essentially be the underwater control room.
Into over 70% of the global ecosystem.
That's right.
It can be recaptured.
Before things get too crazy, I forgot to mention that they're hidden in the first environment of this game. There is a Benang can.
Oh.
So I just wanted to make sure that has been said, because
Rewind.
we have tried to keep that going in all of our series.
Was that current with the humpback remark there? Isn't that with the
Last of the Humpbacks?
Last of the Humpbacks?
I don't know.
Because now it's blue whales. Do I know what I'm talking about at all?
Mosey.
Oh. Mosasaur was such a fun creature to see come to life.
Yeah. This
Peretta
is Graham
effects.
Ross.
Yeah. This from here for the next 3 minutes is effects artist Mike Peretta just completely flexing his muscle.
Yeah. Oh god, I love that hit on the back.
He did such a great job.
Damn it! What were you thinking?
All right, everybody, be cool and stay away from the window.
Be cool?
That's right. What? You want an I told you so? I don't know about you, but I came here to make a phone call.
Jerry and Billy Yoder have a lot of tension that sort of plays out before they finally come to blows.
Yeah,
Like the
and
way
there's
that builds
a really great performance moment here with Yoder. Who's I'm sorry, was it Graham?
No.
Oh
Shaun.
no, this is Shaun.
He's in
You
the
doing
room.
this?
Yeah, I
Oh, this
did
is
this scene.
excellent.
Yeah.
Alpha team killed in action.
I can feel it when he starts second guessing his plan. But the whole idea is that he's been thinking about how to kill these people since the beginning of this episode.
Yes, sir.
But we're talking about how he doesn't have the guts just to take an axe to him. It's more of like,
right,
he's got to find a situation where he can just let them die.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And then he's still got that grenade.
I was just trying to find beats in here where he could slowly sort of come to his decision.
It's really great too because I really wanted Yoda to seem human here. I mean, he's a human being deciding to commit an evil act here. He's not just an evil dude.
That's far enough.
And I can't control that kind of stuff in writing alone. It comes to the cinematic artist to pull this together.
Jerry. Nima, we have everything we need. We're finishing this without them. What?
This is probably one of the longest cutscenes in the whole series. But it's important. I think we can all agree.
No.
What do you mean, no? We've got an agreement, remember?
Our agreement doesn't involve killing Jerry and Jess.
No, you can't do this! Don't you care? Don't you care about us?
That's enough. Everyone stay back.
Jess.
I'm gonna give
Wait.
you a sporting chance here.
I know we had a good reason for not actually stealing the canister.
Well, we had talked about, do we see Jess steal a Barbasol can? But it, I basically, still took a page from Aladdin and just looked at how they handled it, and it just felt really clean with Abu swiping the lamp without the audience knowing, and it just. Otherwise, when they're downstairs, flooded,
loses all
in a
the
flooded
suspense.
environment, it's like, and that Jess has the can, it's more of there's no tension, yeah. So that's where we landed. And this, by the way, was probably the scariest thing to try to ever put into our game, but somehow it's in here.
It came together.
Yeah.
It came together so well, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paredes' effect here is pretty awesome.
And this scene holds probably my favorite music track out of the entire series.
Oh, we've got a newcomer here.
Props to Jared. And now we're being joined by Mr. Mastroianni.
Besides being trapped in this bubble by
Well, yeah, that's I guess like a Nick. We got two Nicks here though.
Don't say that.
So did you
what's your-
choreograph this scene too, or
just when they're in the water?
just when? So they're going to get in the water soon.
Yeah, Nick, what do you do here so if people know what?
Everything. No. Same as a couple of the other people at the table. Cinematic artist.
Okay, that one's a freebie.
Jerry, look!
Oh, great. Just great.
Why is it flooding?
Must be the damage to the
So I admit this kind of like a fake time limit to this
flood right
scene.
up to the highest hole in the room. Damn it.
And just so people are, JD, wanted to make sure that this felt legitimate, but just in case people are confused, the reason the water's flooding up is because there's the damage in the door that you did to get in.
Right, so there's positive pressure in the room, and instead of water coming in through the hole in the door, air will actually escape out, and as pressure equalizes, water will come up through the moon pool at the bottom.
use the pipeline as cover.
And you think we can hold our breath the whole way?
I read about some awesome underwater catastrophes
I do.
to figure this scene out.
I thought that was during your guys' lunchtime field trips to the
That's
scuba
right.
center.
Oh, that's,
Yeah, we should do a shout out there.
Yeah, so Nick, Herman, and I went to a local scuba diving place just to do some research, it turned out, but then they actually invited us to come back and gave us a free lesson so that we had practical experience, and it actually helped a lot. And
Yeah, no, our diver, or our instructor, Scarlett, took us
Scarlett,
down, and
that's
they,
right.
yeah, and they,
what's the place called?
it's Bamboo Reef, I think?
Bamboo Reef,
Yeah.
in San Rafael.
They,
Great
they
guys
actually, the owner of the shop pulled out one of those motorized, whatever they are.
Oh yeah, like the water scooter.
Yeah, and she hadn't even got to use it before, so it was her first time too. So
Yeah,
we all
that
got
was a
to
lot of fun.
Fly around the pool.
That looks like the one scheduled for today's.
But yeah, I mean, we're not at the sequence yet, but that just that experience really helped. We really wanted to sell how slow things move underwater, or how vulnerable you feel, especially with the giant creature who's very agile, swimming around you.
There's your fish.
There's the
Nick.
fish we paid
There's
for.
the fish. Totally worth it.
Oh,
Just for that shot.
There was the fish.
There he goes. Here we go.
Yeah, and this feels really authentic. I mean, just to the short time we spent in a pool, felt pretty good.
I gotta give shout out to sound here because I haven't seen this sequence like one time, but I definitely remember the sound selling it for me, like a lot of it. You know, just being
We used pitched down bears for the Mosasaurus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we used a lot of bears.
Huh. That's really cool.
Like Chewbacca.
But no bears were harmed in the making of this game, right?
Just a
Does
few.
anybody remember the layout when instead of flippers we had planks of wood attached to
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Or when they were standing up and I was walking them through the ocean.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the thing that made this so hard was the sort of the speed that you have to go about doing this. You know, you're underwater, you're slow, and yet you still have to keep the tension really high.
Yeah.
Is it tough? Is it tough to make things read when you can't use
Also,
dialogue?
Yeah, no dialogue.
Yeah.
So there was a few difficult things to sort of overcome in this.
That was easy for me to write, though. I like the lighting and the masks.
Oh yeah.
To help accentuate the eyes, because that's
That
the
was a
only
good
thing they
touch.
get to act with.
Yeah.
Another difficult thing about this was the mosasaur. You may or may not be able to tell through just playing it, but she is like, I don't know,
She's huge.
twice as big as a T-Rex at least.
Yeah, she's ginormous.
Jerry, lengthwise, his entire body with arms out fits into just the jaw.
Yeah, he's
one goal.
Huge. He's also got a second jaw on the roof of his mouth, which is accurate to the actual anatomy of a mosasaur. But this is really technically a tylosaur.
Mm-hmm.
Tylosaurus.
Yeah.
Can we see it? Oh, we couldn't quite see it.
I forget if you do ever get a shot of it.
Hey, I remember Dave Bogan kept saying that he looked too small. And then we brought in the T-Rex, and we're like, oh my. It's like 2 bites to finish off the T-Rex. And Mosey, as we call her, she actually has a bit of a personality. So we designed a lot of this scene around this notion that she likes to just ram things and stick her nose into stuff to get food without really considering whether or not she can fit.
Well, that's part of what they thought how these creatures hunted. They did a lot of they would actually like shoot out of water to like get birds and stuff, like they were just crazy. They would charge and just fly through things and open their mouth and hope they get something, So that was kind of the motivation behind that.
And then this was just a really fantastic scene to...
Love the animation for this part.
Right, design.
Come here.
Oh, nice one.
There's a couple good deaths in here.
Yeah. When he turns his head sideways and kind of gets stuck on the...
This was great.
this
I
next
love
one
this
right
animation right here.
Yeah. Money.
The weight just feels so good.
Boom.
Oh.
She thought she was a goner too. She kind of curls up in the
I know,
fetal
she
position.
gave up.
She's given up on
Grabbing
life.
the cross around her neck.
And some inspiration for this scene here was I kept mentioning Hunt for Red October, and we skipped a lot of it here.
Yeah, we skipped a bunch.
Who played this? Like, can we get some gold medals here? What's going on?
Seriously.
It's not
I hope
interesting.
this is
It's
a
all
death.
gold.
This is a good death. Come on, death.
No.
No.
So that was
That's a
an
fun
interesting thing too that we were doing there. We're presenting a deed, and the last second before that deed even becomes clickable, throwing up a second deed, and hopefully players reacted well to that.
Yeah, we wanted it to feel like you were making the same sort of decision and noticing things as Jerry.
Yeah, because if you do click on the mosasaur, he just kind of it's like a toothpick.
Right.
He's just like, oh, thanks.
So I did have another scene written for this environment here. where we were going to do a little something with a suit malfunction in the water, and we had written and recorded dialogue for like a first aid scene. But in the end, we found that we'd given Jess and Jerry enough sort of reconciliation that we didn't need yet another one for her to prove herself.
Plus, they hug it out like 6 times.
I know, they hug so much.
Can we get a Jerry Jess hug count going? I've only seen one so far.
It was a drinking game.
So we're about to get into the fight, which was another big hurdle.
Yes. Plank of wood.
This was one of those things that we didn't think we could do until we really sat down and figured out how to build it.
Yeah, at one point we were talking about doing like Street Fighter kind of stuff. Yeah, and at one point it was going to be this big dynamic fight, but then we realized that making it dynamic, making the player, have to sort of learn a fight mechanic and make split decisions based on that would really ruin the pace.
Yeah, well, especially they have to, yeah.
And also from a producibility standpoint, I mean, we mocapped this fight.
Yeah,
and what we went through just to break this thing down shot by shot, what you and Nick went through to write the thing.
Shaun Finney and his
Shaun
buddies
Finney as
went
well.
through.
Yeah, Shaun Finney did all the choreography for the fight and pulled together some people some of his buddies to act it out.
This is the best, Shaun Finney actually game. Wait, best deed. There it is.
Shaun Finney moonlights as a ninja, so it was nice to have him and his friends help out.
I swear to God, working on that deed made me laugh.
I would just leave that deed up and just
every time.
It was so much fun. Yeah,
I love all the sneak attacks. I was just laughing the whole time we were doing this.
So yeah, just this. We know how hard this segment is, but that's
the end of the game.
You cannot fail this whole piece, this fight with Yoder. So we didn't feel too bad because it's really going to be. It's good to have one segment where people are just going to have to grind. And
the cool thing about it too, though, is that if you fail at any point, it's different.
Yeah. So if you fail, if you
really
fail the
cool.
second punch of a combo, then it's going to be different than if you failed like the first or third. Right. So it's, which was partly why this was so hard to make, but.
It's a really fun fight if you can get every input here.
Yeah.
I love her face there.
This is Shaun Ainsworth scene, just again, by the way.
Oh yeah, good job, Shaun.
Thanks.
It was originally my scene, but yeah.
He got a little busy with other things,
like directing an episode.
Yeah.
I hope you win. I hope you win. Please. This success is so good here. Go. Okay, good.
I remember when we were scoring this, there was no grunts or screams, and we got to put them all in. That was real fun.
It's fun getting them to record it, too.
Yeah.
We usually have at the end of a recording session a big, once we've done all the regular lines, we let them ruin their voice, yelling, screaming, dying. So we have a whole library of that. This is a hard button mash, by the way.
It's not the hardest button mash.
No,
though.
it is not.
No, it is not.
Actually, maybe it is.
It probably is.
Oh, I love
this is
Yoder's.
My favorite part right here.
Yeah, right here.
We did that at like 2 a.m. and we couldn't stop laughing.
Oh, huh? What? What's that? I can have it?
This is a great piece. Shaun Ainsworth put this together, and it just looks awesome. We didn't know really what we were going to do with it, but...
Yeah, JD, I like the sarcasm you put in him here. He's like, oh, is that the little thing we're fighting over? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Billy's arc is cool because the first 3 episodes, he's like the funny guy. And then the end of episode 3 and beginning of episode 4, he's just super somber and just...
Oh, there's my overused shot.
but it's great to see Yoder not lose that sort of piece of who he is.
Well, that's what we when he was coming back for the can, we always knew he was going to be a little like crazy, psycho, sarcastic jerk, and it really works well for this stuff, especially right before he dies because you really want to. It's just fun.
It's really important for. I know Jurassic Park is all about the dinosaurs and stuff, but the stories that Jurassic Park tells is really, it's about the characters involved. I mean, they make it progress. So to have these moments where where the characters are having their own little conflicts, especially here with Jerry daring Yoder to move. Sure, T-Rex is in the scene, but this is really about the relationship between the characters here.
And he dares him with his eyes. There's
I love
no
it.
dialogue. It's not over the top. It's nice.
I was trying to figure out how to give like a dialogue option, grin or...
Like, if you are playing the game and you haven't died at every possible point from here on out, you should.
Yeah, just
so we play this
from now
scene.
on
We
is-
built
is
in the
the best
functionality
thing.
that you can just start from this scene. Just go ahead and die every time.
Yeah,
It's fantastic.
It really is good. Partly due to Mr. Ainsworth's creativity, we this whole container sequence coming up was one of those things that we didn't really have a budget for, and so we took on the task of creating this entire sequence using existing animations.
And that's what we do when we run out of budget as
Yeah.
producers. We order a couple pizzas and then tell the chore team, like, hey guys, can you make something awesome? And
Yeah.
then people like Shaun Ainsworth and the rest of the chore team, they heed the call.
So yeah, we designed this entire container sequence using stuff we already had, and when it came down to doing the deaths, Shaun just got really creative, and it was a lot of fun.
It was a blast.
Yeah.
My favorite thing I've ever done is in that sequence. I hope it's in this video, but we'll see.
Is it the head getting crushed?
Which one is it?
It's the very last one before you roll into the cage.
Yeah, it's probably not.
And we had a lot of debate about whether it was going to go in the game.
Oh,
You mean
it's
the
in,
anus
But it
grab?
made everybody who saw it laugh hysterically.
Yeah.
So it stayed in.
Yeah, when Shaun was making this stuff, it was really fun to walk by his desk because there was always something cool.
Like
every
when he
death
does
in
the
this is
shuffle
just
through here.
hilarious. Yeah. Jerry shuffle.
Yep, there it is.
Did we give T-Rex new animations for this part? Because I mean, he's so out in the open.
That one where he just busts through right there, I think was new. But this was a fun piece. Just getting smashed into this.
Yeah, this has a really good feel to it.
I think at one point we were going to have a velociraptor
Yeah, we
in the
talked
cage.
about having a raptor in the cage, but
Yeah.
You're like, hey, how's it going?
That might have been a little too
crazy.
much.
It wasn't working.
First of all, what would a velociraptor be doing in a cage?
Oh. And the sound work is so
Oh,
good
here we
here
go.
too, Lazar.
Oh, I got to
there
call
it
out
is.
to Jed
Oops.
Hewer for doing that animation
Yeah.
because it is
That
so
boy
good.
Jed.
One of the best. I think that's
That
one of
one
my
bothers
favorite.
me every time I see it.
Oh, you died. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Look at
Oh, he's
So
hanging there.
brutal.
I'm actually sad. I wanted to go back and make that one a little bit more disturbing. I didn't get a chance.
And this is such an awesome Spielberg scene here.
I don't know if you can tell, is probably heavily influenced by Uncharted.
You're gonna have to be bleeped now.
Our secrets are out.
Naughty
Fail
Dog's-
that
Naughty
last
Dog's
deed
cool. They're
for
not gonna
me.
hate on us.
This is one of those things where we're like trying
Yeah.
to make this work in the engine. It really paid off. God. This hurts my head. I was all ready to talk about the fiction of the docks and everything, but just too much is going on now.
Yeah, I know.
I'll write a post or something.
I love watching Jerry in the background.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many times I have failed at this last sequence.
So yeah, I mean, wow.
Is this the hardest button mash in the game?
Yeah,
If your
we
name's
don't,
Bryan
we don't
Roth,
really
it
like
is.
to call out bugs, but this was possibly broken on a console. But this right here is working fine.
Yeah.
So I apologize if that deed is really
Oh,
easy. It's meant to
God.
be really hard.
That faceplant.
Yeah.
And Jerry slides off the boat into the ocean unconscious.
At one point, we
Drowns.
were talking about Mosasaur coming back and eating T-Rex.
Swallowing
Yeah,
T-Rex.
pulling him off the docks.
We're doing a free
never
willy
heard
over
about
the
that.
top. Some little sun glistens.
So, in case you didn't notice, there's two endings to the game that can be
This is
reached by
actually the
choosing to
good
save
ending.
Jess or the can, and we chose to save. Sorry, not save Jess, save Nima.
Well, Nima saves herself.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. You do. Yeah, you save Jess, and yeah, right.
How much did you say
I know this game.
So I guess
Some Benjamins.
does this sort of imply the death of Dachshund?
I wouldn't see him going to the island personally.
He just
But I
sent
guess
that little
it could
bag.
be, yeah. Well, he could have, had some other lackey go down there.
So yeah, thank you for watching. We hope you guys enjoyed the game. This has been a lot of fun for all of us.
Stay tuned for zombies.